Alright, so in a bit of gaming news, Blizzard just announced the newest season for Overwatch 2, Season 9, which is positioned to be an incredibly pivotal season in terms of the future of the game. A lot of big changes happening, and as a fan of the game, I just want to talk about it. So there's a lot of stuff happening this season. If you didn't know, the competitive system is being completely reworked. Tons of new balance updates happening. Some changes are very good, and some changes I definitely have some negative thoughts on. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting off with the ranked rework, we're going from what was the 5 wins, 15 losses to a more similar system to Overwatch 1, but a bit different. This time, the goal is to try and make it be more clear why you are gaining rank and why you're losing rank. As you can see here, they have different promotion bonuses. So if you're going on a win streak, then you'll get more percentages. If you're going on a loss streak, then you're going to lose more. But then they also have these things called being favored. Uphill battle, you weren't favored but you won. Reversal, you were favored but you lost. Now, from what I was reading from the dev blog, I couldn't exactly find what favored meant. However, what I think it means is your overall team's rank. So let's say you have a team that's objectively balanced, like you're all plat, you're all in the plat range. That's considered a favored team. But let's say you're on a team with like a gold player, a bronze player, a plat player, and a diamond player. That's an unbalanced team and would be considered not favored. That just makes sense to me in the way they're describing it here, where they say that you weren't favored but you won, so uphill battle, but then reversal, you were favored and you still lost, that kind of thing. So you're being rewarded more for winning a fight that you technically had a more likely chance to lose because of your team comp, and vice versa. So yeah, this is great. The biggest problem with the original ranked system was it was just completely unclear what winning and losing meant. You could go 5-2, which is positive, and still rank down or stay the same rank, and it just didn't make any sense. So this is a great change. This is a great change all around, and they're doing a complete rank reset. So if you haven't played Overwatch in a while and you're thinking of getting back into it because of the way that they're fixing things and changing things around, your rank will be reset and you'll be able to start new. So yeah, everything they do with ranked is great. But now we're going into the part of this update that I really don't understand. So one of the core issues that the team wanted to address was the lack of competitive rewards. Before this, we only had gold weapons, which are fine. They're cool. I think people generally like them, but that's all it's been since the beginning of this game. People have wanted more rewards, either more weapon skins or something other than weapon skins, and so they announced Jade weapons. Now, whether you like Jade weapons or not, I mean, I think they're okay. I don't hate them. I don't love them. Maybe I just need to see them in game and actually unlock one and play around with it to fully form a proper opinion on them. But that's not the point. Jade weapons, they're fine. The problem, which is something I don't think they said before, but was just talked about a couple days ago, they're essentially limiting you to only Jade weapons. So how this is going to work is that all your old competitive points, or the competitive points you have right now at the end of this current season, before Season 9 starts, are going to turn into legacy competitive points, similar to how we have Overwatch coins or Overwatch credits, and then the legacy coins. This is weird. So what it says exactly is that you're only going to be able to get gold weapons using the legacy points, and the only way to get legacy points once Season 9 starts is that at the end of the competitive year, all of your new points will turn to legacy points. So basically, let's say you have 2,999 competitive points right now in Season 8. and then Season 9 starts and they all get turned into legacy points. You have to wait until the end of this year to get a gold weapon if you want one, because you have to wait until the end of the year for any competitive points you get after the start of this season to turn into legacy points. I don't know if I'm explaining this the best way. It's a really needlessly complicated system. If this sounds alarming to you as a player, then I would recommend you go and read the dev blog yourself. Essentially, gold weapons are still technically in the game, but let's be honest here, they've basically removed gold weapons. It's just jade weapons. This makes no sense to me. I thought the whole point of this was to have more options. Now you can unlock gold weapons or jade weapons. But nope, now we're back to just having one competitive reward still. Doesn't make any sense to me. It's baffling. I don't understand why we should have like 5 competitive rewards now. This shouldn't be hard to do. I really don't understand this. I expect this to be changed pretty quick. I don't understand the need for 2 competitive like currencies. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Going into more gameplay changes, they say exactly that their main goals with the changes that I'll talk about right after this are to deliver a more consistent feel to firing and landing your shots, lessen the impact of burst damage, allow for greater counterplay, and adjust where in-game healing and damage are effective to reduce stagnant team fights. So basically what this is trying to say is they want to make the game feel better and more fair for all skill groups. There's been a big problem with this game where you have characters that are extremely good, arguably broken, like Kiriko, like Sojourn, that are completely dominating pro play. And yet, if you look at those characters' win rates, they're negative. Most people aren't good with these characters. And because of that, you have the team trying to figure out how to balance these characters so that lower skill players can enjoy them. But if they keep buffing them for the lower skill players, it'll just make the pro players like have an even worse time with these characters. You know what I mean? There's too big of a disconnect. It's impossible to balance the game because there's such a massive disconnect between how lower skill players play and experience the game and want the game balanced compared to how pro players want the game balanced. So they're making some really, really big changes this season to kind of address that. So let's get into them. So first off, they are increasing the projectile size of pretty much every form of projectile in the game, except for really big projectiles. So you can see it says that stuff like Orisa's Javelin or Reinhardt's Fire Strike are excluded from this. But everything else is getting some kind of increased size. This is going to basically make aiming easier for everyone. What this is going to do is this is for the lower skill players. This is for players that are struggling to aim. This is for console players that will make some characters a lot more accessible to the general player base. This is for the lower skill players. This change was not for pro players. Pro players can already hit their shots. This will make characters objectively better too. This is pretty much a buff for everyone, which is really interesting. If they just did this, they just increased everyone's projectile size, it would be a big problem. I think you would still have the same balancing issue. However, this is not the only change they did. They are also increasing everyone's health, or mostly everyone's health. Or actually, I'm not sure. I think everyone is getting some kind of health upgrade. I mean, you have this thing here that goes through. It says 150 to 175 HP heroes go by 25, 200 to 300 go up by 50, and 300 plus, so tanks, go up from either 75 to 100. I mean, the exact patch notes haven't been released yet, but should be everyone. So yeah, global hero HP increase. What this point of this is to counteract the other changes. So yes, everyone's going to be able to aim better. Everyone's going to be able to, hit their shots more. It's going to be a lot easier to aim. However, the time to kill is going up, and that's how they're going to balance this game around. And I think what their main goal with this is that they want the skill in Overwatch to be about using your abilities, working as a team, and figuring out how to defeat your opponents and their team comp, instead of just whoever has better aim wins. Does that make sense? That's how I am understanding this in terms of their vision for the game. They don't want this game to be just like, all right, if you're a DPS player and you can land headshots and that's it, you'll be fine. They want this to be, no, everyone generally should have a pretty easy time at hitting their shots. However, that isn't going to be enough. You need to understand your character's kits, you need to understand their abilities, their movement, how to work together as a team on different maps, how to combo your abilities and your ultimates. So yeah, I think that's the major change to the core gameplay they want from this, and I think it might work. It seems like a lot to do in one patch, but this feels like they took a lot of consideration into it. I'm really interested to see how this is going to work. Finally, talking about role passives. So there's been a pretty big issue with the damage role passive. It used to, or like currently, time of this recording, it works so that when you get a kill, your reload speed gets increased for a few seconds. This was fine for some characters and completely useless for others, like Hanzo. Hanzo doesn't reload, he doesn't have ammo, so he basically did not get any kind of damage roll passive. It was really weird. Now they're changing it to dealing damage reduces the target's healing received by 20%. Again, this is to counteract the previous change. Just like the health changes are there to counterbalance the projectile size changes, this passive roll is here to counterbalance the fact that everyone's getting more health. Because now, damage is going to be more impactful. What this means is that if I'm a DPS player and I'm shooting a tank, as I'm doing damage to them, they will receive 20% less healing. Once I stop doing damage, that will be gone. But as long as I'm keeping damage on them, if I'm shooting them, if I'm hitting them, they will receive 20% less healing. This is another great change in my opinion. It makes damages important. They're not just there to get their ultimate, use their ultimate, and then it's really just the tanks and the supports that are doing all the heavy lifting. Now they have this really impactful role that helps balance out all the other changes that are happening. Great change. This is another really great change. And of course, yeah, as you can see in the picture they provided, everyone is getting passive regenerative healing, 20 health per second for not taking damage for 5 seconds. So again, just increasing the time to kill and making this game more about having spatial awareness and working with your team. If you are really low and you don't have a support with you, you need to back off. You need to wait and you'll start regaining health. You have to play it safe now. This isn't just about going around and getting kills. You have to really play a lot more strategically now, which is great. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. The official patch notes haven't been released. There were leaked patch notes about a week ago, maybe a little bit more, and they're pretty much confirmed now. But until anything is completely officially revealed, I didn't really want to talk about them yet. However, in the leaked patch notes, there was talk about a Pharah rework and bunch of other balance changes, but gonna wait until the official patch notes are out if I want to talk about that anymore. But yeah, overall, I think this is very great changes. I think this is gonna make the game a lot more strategic, a lot more interesting to play with people in terms of like getting your friends together and playing together and having, that team communication with each other and figuring out different plays. I think that's just being emphasized a lot more because of these changes. The stuff with the Jade weapons is ridiculous. Like I said, I expect this to be changed very soon. I don't think anyone's gonna like this, and hopefully they listen. But yeah, overall, Season 9 is looking pretty good. This is easily the most important season they've done. They need to get this right to breathe some new life into the game. So yeah, just figured it was some pretty important news for a pretty popular game. But yeah, that's about it. So yeah.